Welcome back. Today I'm working on the Catalina, the little 22-foot sailboat again, the one you see behind me here. I just got the swing keel back from the machine shop. I'll show you that. And today we're sanding, primering, and maybe painting the swing keel, and then go from there. I'm just trying to get this thing up and going so I can get in the river and start sailing. I'll show you what I'm doing. My name's Grant. This is my dog Susie. Hey, say hi. Recently I purchased a 1978 Irwin Mark III sailboat, the center cockpit. And man, is it a project. Follow me as I rehab my boat and sail off into the sunset. So here's a swing keel. I've done a rough pass, if you will, with a sander, trying to get the high spots and the low spots. Here is, you can kind of see it, where they drilled and put a new bushing in for me. I've decided I'm not going to fix this here. It's going to be about $1,000 to fix that. They have to heat the whole keel because it's cast iron. I don't remember how hot they have to get it before they can weld that up. Again, it's $1,000 to do that. I'm not going to do that. It may be the wrong decision, but that's just what I'm doing this time with this boat. Again, I want to get it sailing. So stand by here and we'll get some primer on it. For the primer, I'm using Total Boat 2-part epoxy primer barrier coat. And here's the curing agent. Long story short, this comes about this full here. You dump this into this. You mix them together. Actually, you need to mix this first because it's really sludgy. Mix this up. Put this inside there. That gives you 1 gallon. But once you mix it, that's it. You're done. There's no saving it for the next day or anything. You need to use it all up that day. Otherwise, it becomes one big, huge, solid blob. Anyway, I'm using Total Boat products for this project. I am not sponsored. I don't get any free products, nor do I get any discounts. I just like the products because it's easy to decipher what you need for your boat. Directions are pretty dang simple, and I guess it's just made for the dumb people like me. Alright, I got one side, or both sides primed. And I got one side painted. And I am using this Spartan multi-season ablative anti-fouling paint. That's what I'm using here. So I got the keel all painted. I was sitting down to have a glass of water, and I realized I forgot to put the shims on. So we're going to grind back some paint and put those on today. So I'm attempting to follow the instructions, especially by looking at the diagram. The instructions are not awesome, but if you look at the diagram, I'm using this line here for reference. I'm using this scratch where the keel lock pin is. I'm using the 1/2 inch here. I'm actually giving a little bit more than that. I'm using the corner of this shim, trying to come up with something that looks similar to what they're saying. So this orange line here is the bottom of where my pin is in my saddle. I ran it all the way across so it's level. My keel is level. I didn't go a 1/2 inch here. I went 1 inch. I just think that's going to give me a little bit better, so I'm not binding or possibly pulling that shim off. So I use a 1 inch line here, I put that mark on my keel line, like in the picture, right there. I ground off that corner, and that's kind of what I came up with. There's another video or two out there on doing the same thing, but their keels are shaped different than mine. And even if you look at this one, they want the shim down below this bolt. Well, it's not shaped that way. So I'm going to remove the paint in that area, and that's how I'm going to install it, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. Let me know if you got any questions about this part. Be more than happy to answer them for you. I'm just trying to do the best I can with what I have to work here. So I got the area all cleaned up. I'm getting ready to mix up the Marine Tech, which is the epoxy is going to be used to glue the shims on the keel with. And then I'm going to use some clamps and some tapes to let it sit in place while it cures. That's the next step. Alright, I got them glued on with the Marine Tech. You can see I went a little more than a ½ inch, like the directions said. I went an extra inch. That's just where I feel comfortable as to where I think they're gonna fit the best. What you didn't see offline is I sanded both the back sides of the shims so the Marine Tech would stick to that stuff. I think this is the best spot for the shims. That's just my opinion. And I think the chance of them peeling off right there are going to be way less. And I still think that they'll work. So I got my shims on both sides. Now it's time to fit the keel and or the shims to the boat. Let me show you how I did that. So there's two instruments a person uses for measuring inside and outside diameters of things. This tool is used for measuring the inside diameter of something. Example, the inside diameter of the pocket for the swing keel. Next tool that you'd use is calipers. And this is for measuring the outside diameter, meaning the outside of the shims where they'd slide up into the pocket. I don't have the size of tools I need to do this job, so I compromised. I took a stick, this stick right here, there's nothing special about it, and I stuck it up inside the pocket of the area where the swing keel goes. There's where the cradles mount to the swing keel. And there's the pocket. Pocket goes all the way down. And there's where the cable is. Swing keel lays right there. And you can see right up in there is where the swing keel rides. So all I did was take my stick and went all the way up in there to the highest part, and it just barely rubs. Can't see it, but I'm telling you, it just barely rubs. And checked it all the way down. Of course, it's going to be wider down here. That's fine. But way up there where it rides, this is where the shims are going to be. Right up in there. So I now have my thickness of my stick. And I'll show you what I do next. I made a set of calipers out of wood. Please don't judge me by my woodwork. I did not claim to be an awesome woodworker, but this is what I did. I just made a set of calipers here. Got a clamp, a bolt, a washer in there. So what I'm going to do now is, I know that this thick, or the stick right here, is the thinnest, or a minimum I need to have my shims at. So I just squeeze my little calipers here with my clamp on my stick. Got that figured out, right? Now what I do is I need to sand my shim so these calipers slide on and off. It goes on one side but doesn't go through another side. So once I sand this down so these calipers can slide over the shim, I know it'll be okay. So I'm okay here on the back side. It's just this front lip area and right there. There, you see it slides right there. But this area it doesn't. So I got some sanding to do. We'll do that. Okay, you can see all I did was just grind a little bit. This is all we're looking for. Got just a tiny bit of friction, but it's fine. You can see this is all I sanded right there. That's it. We're good to go. Again, just a little bit on this side here. Now I'm going to paint this area up and get it installed. Alright, there we are, all shimmed up. It needs to dry, and it's time to install. Well, got the keel installed, and Susie did not help one single bit, except for getting away. Let me show you a couple things that you may not know about. So there's the old pin, and it goes into these saddles here, like so. On my old setup, the cradles are substantially, and I'd say at least a 1/4 inch or more narrower. Catalina recommends that you put these wider saddles in to take out some of the play or the slop in between the swing keel and the saddle. I tried doing that and they're too big. I wasn't going to grind them down or have them machined down or what have ya. But what I was able to use the old saddles, and this one right here is a plastic shim, it's nylon. It's just black instead of white, that my friend Wes machined for me using his CNC machine. That's the same guy who helped me make gaskets in the earlier video. So that's what I did. Unfortunately, I can't use these. I don't know if they'll return them or not, or they'll take them. But I added another shim on each side, like this, using my old saddles, a new pin, new bolts. And that's kind of where we're at. I need to hook up the rear swing cable, but I'm going to replace the cable. So I'm going to do another video on that, showing that. And then obviously I need some zincs or anodes, whatever those are called, I forget, and some touch-up paint. But we're making some progress. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, and make a comment. I'd really appreciate that. Thanks for watching.